We are French Pressure. I'm Chris Simran.
And I'm Sarah. Let's make some coffee.
So for our coffee design, we started with 125 grams of whole green beans. We put those into the roaster, and out came approximately 106 grams of roasted coffee beans. For our final brew, we decided to roast 66.7 grams worth of those beans, and we stored the remaining 39.6 grams. Also out of the roaster came volatile gases and chaff, to be exact, 18.7 grams worth. We heated about 1,200 grams of water. We put in cold water, which was approximately 23 degrees Celsius, and we heated it to 94 degrees Celsius. For our brew, we used 2 Clever Coffees and an AeroPress. For the Clever Coffees, we put in 27.8 grams into each of the Clevers, and then we put 500 grams of water into each of the Clevers. For the AeroPress, we put 11.1 grams of coffee and then 200 grams of water. We extracted all of these for 8 minutes. So out of our brew came brewed coffee, 988.5 grams worth. We also, a product of our brew was water vapor and moist grounds.
And saving the planet, saving energy. How did we decide on our coffee design? What was our logic and procedures to minimize energy? As for roasting, of course, roasting has a significant amount of impact and flavor. That, on top of the fact that roasting takes a significant amount of energy no matter what you do with it, we figured investing energy in our roast was worthwhile. Our bean type was Guatemala Acetango Geisha Lot 2. Our roast level was dark. We roasted for about 22 minutes. And our estimated energy usage was 0.21 kilowatt hours for 125 grams, or 0.0019 kilowatt hour per gram of roasted coffee. And for the water, given the time, a cold brew would not be able to produce a viable cup of coffee. Therefore, investing some energy into heating the water was a must. To minimize our usage, however, we watched the temperature closely and took it off immediately as soon as it hit our desired range. Our estimated energy usage was 0.11 kilowatt hours for 1,200 grams. And for our brew, here's where we got a little creative. What better way to save energy than to use no energy at all? Our favorite brews came from the Clever Coffee, but all lacked a certain body to them, and therefore we decided to make a portion of our coffee metal filter AeroPress brewed. And our estimated energy usage? 0 kilowatt hours.
The final countdown. The day of the competition, the total mass of our coffee was 66.7 grams. The total mass of our brew was 988.5 grams. Total energy was 0.23 kilowatt hours, TDS was 1.15%, and PE was 17%. How did our coffee taste? Our coffee was no exception to the blind taste test judging. We picked off the brews, tried them, and scored them. After the results were in and we were notified of which carafe was ours, we just had to try our coffee again. It had a wonderful aroma and mouthfeel as we expected from our hypothetical design, but it was lackluster in the acidity category and overall balance. It was far too tangy and too weak to be considered the best brew around town, but it was somewhat decent enough for our group to have given it a blind taste test score of 22.
And now, any last words? How can we improve? Now that everything's been said and done, okay, maybe not so done as we'd like it to be. As taken from our blind taste test, we still got quite a bit to learn and to experiment with. Our brew fell in the weak to sour range based on our TDS, PE, and brew ratio, so we'd like to amend that. Increase the extraction time, decrease the grind size, anything to get a little more of that TDS goodness into our cup. But until then, see you next coffee time!